What is up, guys? It's episode 3 of this crazy week of content in the lead up to E3. This is the Video Game Therapy complete what to expect guide for E3 2021, and today we are talking about Xbox Bethesda, or Xbox and Bethesda, Xbox / Bethesda. Are they what? Like, how do we address them now? So it's the big dog. It's the Xbox Bethesda showcase. It's got to be up there as one of, if not the most anticipated showcase for E3 2021. So let's get into what we should expect. So there are two glaringly obvious titles that are going to show up here. Just from the official artwork we can see Halo Infinite and Starfield. So straight off the bat we can make a pretty solid assumption that both of those are going to be there. I mean, it would be really fucking foolish to put them on the artwork and then not show them at the showcase, right? And it's not like Xbox to ever do foolish things.
429 pounds in the UK.
No, I mean it. That would be just too far, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I really think that we're going to see Halo open the show. They really have to bring it this time after the absolute shit show they brought to their Halo showcase last year. I mean, it looked awful. So here's to hoping that they can show off some impressive new visuals and, most importantly, some gameplay running on a fucking Xbox console. Remember that? Remember when they showed us this Xbox exclusive game not running on an Xbox? Just a reminder, Xbox, it means fucking nothing to us if you show us gameplay on hardware that we don't have. It's like showing us how well a car drives in outer space. I'm not going to fucking drive it in outer space. I'm going to drive it on the road. Show me how it works on the road. Oh, let me just switch gears. So other than the nice shiny new graphics and the gameplay, I think we're going to see a big focus on the multiplayer. Some of you may remember after the disaster last summer, Xbox responded with the news that Halo Infinite's multiplayer would be a free-to-play system, presumably after seeing the success of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare model. So I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of focus on that because Xbox are going to use that as a channel to funnel new players into the world of Halo. So before we move on to the Bethesda side of things, I'm trying to think of other Xbox first-party titles that we could get excited about. And it's times like this that you realise just how sparse the Xbox first-party lineup was before the Bethesda acquisition. One game I'm thinking we'll see something about is Scorn. This game was shown last year in May as an exclusive Xbox title, but this game has a lot more history behind it actually. It actually began development back in 2014 and has had its fair share of hiccups along the way, including an unsuccessful Kickstarter campaign in December of 2014, then a couple of years of panic followed by a this time successful Kickstarter campaign in 2017, before finally being picked up by Xbox. The game itself looks fucking disgusting in all the right ways, but I don't know, there's something just so bare bones about it and slow. Does it look sluggish to you? It looks fucking sluggish to me. I'm hoping this is a great game, but I'm also very concerned that it's going to be one of those games that bears its indie origins when it comes out. A game that wants to be AAA standard but just didn't have the funds or the manpower to achieve it. Anyway, nonetheless, I think we should expect to see more from this at E3. Microsoft Flight Simulator was released in August last year, and for a brief moment, people actually played it. No, I'm joking. I know that there's a lot of serious fans of this type of game out there, and back when it was released last August on the PC, we were promised that there was going to be a version for the Xbox One and the Series X as well, and that version was promised to be coming in summer 2021. Well, here we are, summer 2021, there or thereabouts, and we don't yet have a release date. E3 just seems like the place to do it, and I wouldn't be surprised if this actually turns out to be a shadow drop, or at least a very close release date announcement where they just come out and be like, Microsoft Flight Sim will be available tomorrow on Game Pass, or Microsoft Flight Sim will be available next month on Game Pass. Psychonauts 2. Yeah, Psychonauts 2 is my next prediction. We have to be close to the release of this game now. I mean, it's been talked about for so long, right? 2015 the game was first announced. That's 6 years ago. 6 years is a long development cycle for a game like this. Weirdly, this game is being made by an Xbox studio, published by Xbox, but is coming to multiple platforms, including the PlayStation. I think we should be expecting a release date for this game, and I also think that release date shouldn't be too long after E3. I'm thinking probably like autumn 2021. That's my prediction. Other than that, we've got to see some Sea of Thieves, right? I mean, it's Microsoft, it's Xbox, it's Sea of Thieves. It's got to be there. For me, I just don't see an Xbox E3 showcase where there's not something Sea of Thieves related, you know? There's going to be an update announced, there's going to be some DLC or something, there's just going to be something Sea of Thieves related, okay? Okay, so on to Bethesda. Now, Bethesda in itself has a lot of different studios producing a lot of different games for them, so I'm just going to go through them and talk about what they're working on, which ones should be expected, and which ones I hope to see at E3 2021. So we know that Arcane Studios, the team behind Prey and Dishonored, are working on a game called Omen. Not too much is known about this game other than that it exists and that it's some sort of stealth action game, not unlike Prey and Dishonored. But this game is centered around vampires. Well, that's my vampire, that's not a good vampire. We know Arcane's other project is Deathloop, but that's all but finalised now. We've seen plenty of it, we know the premise of the game, we know when it's coming out. We may see some Deathloop stuff, but I think Arcane's big thing will be Omen at E3. Machine Games will no doubt have something to show off at E3. Best known for their Wolfenstein games, many are suggesting it's time for Wolfenstein 3. Cool, yeah, I guess, but let's be honest. What the fans really want, what I really want, is the Indiana Jones game. Give me some information on the fucking Indiana Jones game. It might be a bit of a reach to say that this will be at E3, given that it's unlikely to be out for at least another couple of years, but that's what we want to see. Everyone's expecting it to be an Uncharted / Tomb Raider-esque action-adventure experience, and let me tell you, I'm here for it. Give me it. As we touched on earlier, we are like 99.9% certainly going to see something from Starfield. Everybody knows that now is the time to show it, and it looks like they are going to do it. They've put it on the fucking cover. It's going to be there, right? So what do we know about Starfield? Well, it's apparently a Bethesda-style RPG a la Fallout or Elder Scrolls, but in space. Sounds fantastic. So what do we want from it? Well, we want a release date. That's what we want. We want to know when we're going to be able to get our hands on this game. Do I think we'll get a release date? I'm not sure. I think that might not come at E3, but at least give us something substantial. Elder Scrolls 6, probably not. We're probably talking another 3 years or so before we can get our hands on that game. Fallout 5, definitely not. I mean, I don't even know if they've started development on that yet. It'd be an excellent surprise. Before we wrap up on Xbox Bethesda though, there's a couple of curveballs that I want to throw out there. A couple of things that I think might just be there. One certainly more likely than the other. And the first one is Xbox hardware. And when I say hardware, I specifically mean an Xbox version of the DualSense controller. Xbox have to respond to the success of the DualSense controller. It truly is the piece of hardware that it's the only thing that feels next gen, and Xbox just have to respond to it. And being that if they are going to put one out, the likely time for it to come out would be holiday 2021. That means that E3 would be the perfect time to announce it and build hype surrounding it. Finally, I don't know if you remember, but a few months back there were rumours that Hideo Kojima had ran into some roadblocks whilst pitching his Death Stranding follow-up to Sony. Now, Death Stranding was... it was just so fucking boring. Let's be honest, I love Hideo Kojima. His creativity is absolutely unrivaled, but after Death Stranding, maybe, just maybe, it could be said that Konami kept a lid on him. To me, Death Stranding was the product of an overexcited creative who suddenly had nobody in charge of him. but himself. It was all artistic expression and not really much gameplay. Anyway, the rumour goes that when pitching his next game to Sony, they brought this up, and maybe they told him to rein it in a bit, and apparently Kojima didn't like this. As always, take this shit with a pinch of salt because no one really knows right now, but as the tale goes, Kojima then decided to pitch to Xbox, and well, if true, that is an offer that Xbox just couldn't refuse. You see, Xbox console sales in Japan are really low, and Xbox have been trying to combat this for a while, so when Hideo Kojima comes to you with a game, one of the most lauded video game creators out of Japan, well, what do? You say yes. Oh dear God, yes. You accept because it's an instant foot in the door with the Japanese market. So I'm going to throw this wild card out there and say that maybe, just maybe, at E3 2021 Xbox Bethesda conference, we might just see Hideo Kojima announce his new game exclusively on the Xbox. I'm going to have to buy one. That's it for this episode. Let me know if you think I've missed anything in the comments below. As always, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and check back for the next episode where we're going to be talking about Square Enix. Yes!